It's not everyone's cup of tea to consume an entire podcast. That's why, welcome to the Ranveer Show's highlights channel, DRS Clips. Subscribe and hit that bell icon. Something I've been studying a lot lately is astrophysics, which is, the physics of the universe, black holes, the stars, and the deeper you get into astrophysics, you realize that the universe is massive. It's just incredibly large. You don't even understand how large it is. I mean, you think it's large, just read a little bit of astrophysics and your mind will be blown away by, how much more mega it is than you believe it is. Since you've read the Bhagavad Gita, since you've studied it, so since you've read all these holy scriptures, does any of the holy scriptures actually talk about the universe as in, outer space, what's out there?
Oh yeah, extremely, in great detail. So it's so fascinating, Ranveer. The Western world, about 700 years ago, only knew that the earth is flat. And they believed that the earth is the center of the universe. That was the geocentric theory. Then it moved to the heliocentric theory, that the sun is the center. And the scriptures in our traditions, the name they have for geography is Bhugol. The earth is round. They knew it all the while. And they have explained in so much of detail that there are 5 mandals, 3 trilokis, 7 lokas. So the first is the Chandra Mandal, whose lok is Chandralok. It is rotating around a mandal called the Bhumandal, whose lok is Bhulok, the earth planet. But this Bhumandal is also not fixed. It's rotating around the Surya Mandal, whose lok is Swarlok. And the Antariksh, the space in between, is Bhuva. So this Bhu, Bhuva, Swa creates one triloki. But the Surya Mandal is also not fixed. Now this I'm telling you from these scriptures, what they have described 5,000 years ago. That this Surya Mandal is rotating around Parameshthi Mandal. And the Loka, the planet there, is Janalok. And the Parameshthi Mandal is rotating around another Mandal, Swayambhu Mandal, whose Loka is Brahmalok. So all this, now science tells us that like the sun, in the Milky Way, there are 100 billion suns. And like the Milky Way, there are 100 billion galaxies, which means that there are 10 to the power 22 suns approximately in this entire universe. However, now science is talking about the multiverse theory, right? That there are other universes as well. And the Vedas say, you know what? How many universes are there? All of this that you are perceiving is one universe. Like this, there are infinite universes. And each with one Shankar, one Brahma, one Vishnu. Can I tell you a little story?
Sure, sir.
It is said that once Brahma went to meet Lord Krishna in Dwarka. And he asked the gatekeeper, tell Sri Krishna Brahma has come to meet him. So Sri Krishna asked the gatekeeper, tell him which Brahma is he. He asked, Brahmaji was astonished, is there any Brahma apart from me? So he tell him, the 4-headed Brahma, the father of the 4 Kumars. The gatekeeper said, Sri Krishna called him in. So Brahmaji on coming, he said, Bhagwan, what was the meaning of your question, which Brahma? Is there any Brahma apart from me? So Lord Krishna smiled. By his Yoga Maya, he called the Brahmas of innumerable universes. And they were all coming and offering their pranams. And our Brahmaji saw that there is one Brahma who's got 1,000 heads. So our Chaturmukhi Brahma said, how big will be his universe? And then there was one Brahma who had 1 lakh heads. And one Brahma who had 1 crore heads. And one Brahma who had 1 Arab, 1 billion heads. So dekhi Chaturmukhi Brahma hailo chamatkar Krishner charane asi karilo namaskar. Our Brahmaji fell at the feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna said, Brahmaji, there are infinite universes. Yours is the smallest. That is the tent of God's creation. And all of this is 1/4 of creation. This is the material realm. And beyond this is 3/4, which is the spiritual realm, where this Maya, this Kal, this Karma cannot go. So that is when we say God is great, that's how great He is.
What's out there in the 3/4?
It's indescribable, because our words can only compare with the glories of what we see here. Right? Now let us say that we wish to give a comparison. We will give it with material things. And that is made by a different energy. So this material realm is made by an energy called Maya, the material energy. And we see so much of glory in every aspect of material creation, from the tiniest Higgs boson to the biggest galaxies.
To Cristiano Ronaldo.
Sure. Absolutely. If there's glory manifesting in everyone, to Sachin Tendulkar. So now, all of this is glorious. Imagine the glory of Yoga Maya. When the computer revolution started, one college boy came up to me and said, Swamiji, what computer does God use to keep an account of our karmas? So I said, computer is made by the material energy. And God has a superior energy called Yoga Maya, by virtue of which He knows everything that we thought of from the time we were born till today. Not of one lifetime, but our infinite lifetimes. And not one soul, but infinite souls of creation. So how does God manage to do all that? By His Yoga Maya. By that Yoga Maya, He creates His divine abode. So let it suffice to say that it is Sat, Chit and Anand. It is eternal, full of bliss. Now can you imagine objects made of bliss? And sentient consciousness. So that abode is Satchid Anand, full of divine bliss. It's for the perfected souls. That means when we reach that perfection, we will then be there.
Can you become imperfect when you go there if you fail a test there?
Once we are situated in knowledge, then the ignorance will not overcome us again. Tad Vishno Paramam Padam Sadaha Pashyanti Suraya. It's the soul is on a journey. So in the journey, we are slowly growing and we're taking a few steps ahead, maybe a few steps back, and then again a few steps ahead. But once we reach that perfection, it means that now we are situated in knowledge. So when you have divine bliss, then why should you choose something far inferior?
Yeah.